What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 30-minute missions Nightfall from Armored Core 6. Primarily based on RAD's C2000 frame with a mix of weapons from various different companies, it's the poster mech of the game that is piloted by the mysterious mercenary known as Raven. This hefty armored core is made up of a modest 11 runners and a decal sheet. And while this destroys the 30-minute build marketing, I personally found that Nightfall is much easier to assemble compared to Steel Haze, since it features a robust design and a more traditional humanoid structure. All the while, the construction is based on assembling together large chunks and plates before layering on the smaller details. On top of how no gates are dangerously near any surface details, the cleanup is quite straightforward as well, with the relatively lighter color palette helping as well. In fact, I think it feels very similar to high-grade Gunpla despite their vastly different designs, but that doesn't take away from its freshness if you're approaching it having primarily built Gunpla. However, I will say that the one challenging part is the head, as due to its super detailed nature, there's quite a good number of small parts that we'll need dealing with. Apart from that, however, it's a pretty manageable build for everybody across the hobby. Aesthetically, the 30-minute mission's Nightfall is impressive. Just from the straight assembly alone, it is evidence that Bandai has done their best in implementing the principal details of the C2000 frame into a simple 30-minute missions kit, having sculpted them into the bodywork if not having separated them into plastic entirely. The proportions are correct in representing the non-combatant scout frame, highlighting its recycled look with the exposed inner frame and piping, which makes it look even less refined compared to the corporation's armored cores in all the right ways. But coupled with a menacing shade-eye head, not even this utilitarian scout is meant to be taken lightly, which makes Nightfall great for serving as parts fodder. However, as Nightfall, there is plenty of work to be done for complete accuracy. For starters, the armor and main frame parts should be in a more reddish tint, which will require complete repaints. Then, there are some tiny paint details that need filling in, most notably in the impossibly small sensors and lights all over the body and painting the rear weapon mounts. Finally, since this is a very rough and rugged machine, I would highly suggest doing some weathering, like sponging and chipping, to dirty it a bit for a better effect. But that's the beauty of building these types of model kits, the freedom to work on them however you want. Digression aside, the individual parts that make up Nightfall serve as well-made components. However, if you want a fully faithful Nightfall, a lot of work would need to be put in. Articulation-wise, the head is on the standard issue ball and peg neck, granting it a fair degree of rolling and rotation. The shoulders can roll and rotate on the ball joint, which can push the arm raise to almost 90 degrees after moving the shoulder armor. There is a bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, and pegged wrists. The waist can roll and rotate on the universal ball joint. Meanwhile, the hips can roll, while the legs can essentially rotate all the way and perform great side splits. There's a double jointed knee, moving ankle piece, and double ball jointed ankles. Finally, the boosters are ball jointed. Articulation of Nightfall is pretty decent for a relatively bulky design, and moving it around feels just like any other old humanoid mech, and thanks to the solid structure, posing should be a trouble-free experience. Accessories start with the alternate head with the visor down and some standard holding hands, the former of which can just be swapped on for use. Speaking of handhelds, Nightfall's primary firearm is the RF-025 Scudder Assault Rifle. Featuring a high amount of surface detail, it sandwiches into the hands for straightforward use. The other arm weapon is the technical but severely powerful PB-033M Ashmead Pile Bunker, which simply plugs into the left forearm and functions as is for light attacks. There's also a set of alternate parts for its fired state, which simply replaces the head and butt of the weapon after rearranging a cover or vent piece on the central component. The provided swapping option is nice, but I personally think it would be easier to provide a duplicate central unit to have both form separately, since it is only made up of 3 pieces. Naturally, both the rifle and pile bunker can be stored on the shoulder weapon racks of other armored cores that have them as well. In terms of Nightfall's shoulder loadouts though, there's the Songbird's grenade cannon for the right shoulder, and the BML G1 P32 Duo 03 dual missile launcher for the left shoulder, which simply plug onto the back of the armored core and are adjustable on 2 swivels. But despite the missile launcher having an extra tilting axis, there are no parts to swap either weapon onto the opposite sides, as that's only included in weapon set 2. As a bonus, there is a leftover eyepiece from the runners if you need a backup for the standard head. Being the face of the game and subsequently the model kit line, I'd say that the 30-minute mission's Nightfall accomplishes its mission as equally well as the in-game unit. It sets up the build standards that are to be expected from the rest of its brethren, aiming to replicate the in-game frame parts and their intricate mechanical details within a manageable build difficulty. And it does that excellently so that the foundations for the C2000 frame parts are faithful to the game, and a similar case can be said for the weapons. On top of that, the build is solid, making it a smoothly posable yet sturdy model kit. Granted, for that, it does throw the 30-minute build marketing out the window and crank up the difficulty compared to the usual entries of the line, but the visual and functional result is a kit that is as playable and customizable as the in-game mechs, and that is what I believe its primary purpose is, providing you with parts of the C2000 frame and a shade-eye head for your custom builds instead of 100% accurately representing Nightfall. But that's the appeal of 30-minute missions kits. Their primary purpose is for customization, so be it as parts fodder or character representation, the choice is up to you, since the 30-minute missions Nightfall is a well-made foundation for either avenue. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.